Hey everyone, it's Riley, and today I want to share with you guys 3 simple theme ideas that you can use for the month of October, or really any month that you want to. So I make a video like this pretty much every month, and as usual this month I tried to keep all of the themes very accessible. So they're simple, they don't take you lots of time, they don't require you to have like an insane set of artistic talent, and they also don't require tons of materials. And how it works is, in this video I'm just gonna set up like the title page for the month of October, and then you can take these themes and these doodles and use them all over whatever other monthly pages you might want. So if you want a calendar, you want a brain dump, habit tracker, tasks page, whatever you want, just take these doodles, fonts, colors from the title pages and then scatter them all around those pages as well. So if you enjoy getting lots of accessible and doable bullet journal ideas, I hope that you will consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and you can also join me on Instagram. I've got that link down below where I share tons of pictures of a bunch of bullet journal themes that I think anyone should be able to do. So grab your journal, grab some markers, some black pen, maybe a white gel pen if you have one, and let's get started. All right, so the first theme that we're going to do is going to be a more muted theme, and it's going to be a little like desert scene. So I've pretty much always, when I do this in a custom journal, I've done it in a rectangle or a square. Today I'm going to do it in a circle using my iris. I've showed this on my channel a few times before. I'll link it down in the description. It's definitely pretty pricey as far as bullet journaling supplies go. So you obviously can just use, you know, a jar or a cup or something like that. But I'm going to start by making just a circle in about the center of my page. And I was going to draw it with light gray. I normally do my circles like that first, but I actually think I'll grab just a black pen and go straight in with that. So next what you want to do is just take a few colors for the ground of a desert. I'm going to use these 3. I'm using all Tombos, but if you don't have Tombow markers, please don't feel like you have to go out and buy them. I would recommend starting with the Crayola Super Tips pack of 100. It will have like everything that you need pretty much, and you can just get some of these to supplement colors that you're missing. So some for the ground. I'm going to use one for the sky and for cacti, and then I might also go in with some white gel pen to add clouds or something. But for now, what you want to do is just fill this whole circle or square, if you're doing a square, with this desert scene. So I'm going to start off just by kind of making a layer in this color, and then I'm going to color it in. All right, I am going to keep going with making layers for the ground, but I'm just going to pause quickly to add some cacti before I do too much more. So to draw these little cacti, because they're so small, it's really super easy. I'm just going to draw that sort of shape. Don't really know what to call it. Color it in, and then just add 2 little arms at different heights. And I'm going to put some cacti more like closer up and smaller, larger, just kind of vary these little cacti. And I think that's all that I'll do for those. And then I'm just going to keep on going with these sort of ground layers in the desert. So now that I've got some different layers of the sort of ground part, I'm going to add in the sky, and for that I'm using this really sort of gray blue. And I've done this before with either like a night sky or a day sky, and both of them I think look cool in their own ways. So you can obviously change that up. Whoops, I went way out of the lines. But this one I guess is a little more not super dark, so I'll make this maybe a daytime sky. All right, so that's sort of the baseline for my desert scene here. And I don't always outline it with black pen, but I feel like the cacti are kind of getting lost. So I'm going to at least outline those and then see how I feel, and maybe go in and outline everything else too. All right, so Gonna be honest, I've done this theme quite a few times and this is probably one of my least favorites. So I'm gonna try to link another video where I did like a similar thing, like follow all these same steps, but it turned out better. So you can check that out. But now I'm gonna just take my white gel pen, and if I were doing a night sky, you could add like stars or just dots as stars. But since I'm gonna make this a daytime sky, I'm just gonna draw like some clouds. And I'm only gonna draw the outline, even though I know that like the clouds would kind of be like filled in with white if they were actually clouds, but I'm just gonna kind of draw little outlines like this. And now another thing that I have done in themes like this, which you definitely can do if you have a white gel pen, is just like add little designs. So dots, stripes, I'm doing sort of a confetti kind of thing down here. And you can just add different designs on each layer of this ground part of the desert if you would like to. So that's kind of the main attraction here, I guess. Next, you're just going to want to write in the title for October. So you can obviously do that any way that you want. I'm just going to do it using a large black fine liner. Alright, so I just used my size 1 black fine liner. This one's from Mr. Pen, and wrote out Hello October. The heading here, honestly, I just made this up as I went. Obviously you can do whatever kind of heading you want. You could write the heading inside of here. That's usually what I do, is I'll make the illustration bigger and make it rectangular, and then I'll just write the month inside of there. Or you can do something more like this. I just felt like the page was really empty with such a small circle, so I decided to make the heading a little bit larger instead of just tucking it inside. So that's the first theme, and even with all the talking and stuff like that, this one took me about 7 minutes to set up. Moving over to the other page here, I'm going to use another Tombow brush pen. This is just the color black. But again, even this lettering that I'm about to do, you can definitely do that with Crayola Super Tips. I'm going to do some stacked calligraphy for October. So if you know how to do calligraphy, then you'll just do the same thing, but just rearrange the letters. If you don't, just keep in mind that you want all of your downstrokes to be nice and thick, your upstrokes to be nice and thin. And I just try to make things like bouncy, if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm going to start off by doing kind of the top part of the stack here. So I've got O, and then I want the C to be a bit higher up so that I can fit my next two letters, T and another O below there. And then I'm going to put the B, have that be nice and big over here. E, and I want my R to kind of fill that gap. So there we have our stacked calligraphy title. So you can see, even though it looks really fancy, like that took me probably 30 seconds to put together. Now, obviously, if you haven't done calligraphy much, it will take you longer. But it is really a simple heading. Once you get used to doing calligraphy, this is no harder. So what we're gonna do for the rest of this theme is a little like bacon and egg sort of print behind here. So I'll show you first how I'm gonna draw the bacon. So you're gonna want like a light color. Actually, I'm gonna get a slightly darker color. These are both Tombow markers, 990, 942. They're pretty similar. I'm gonna go with 942 actually for today. So you want a light color for the inside of your bacon strips, and then a darker brownish reddish sort of color for the outside. And to start, I'm just gonna take the light color and just make kind of a squiggly line. And I'm gonna put these all over the place since this is kind of a print style. All right, so those are the inner parts of our bacons. Next, you're just gonna take a brownish reddish color and make the outside of the bacon strips, just like that. All right, so we've got some bacon. Next, we're gonna do eggs, and these are super easy. I'm just gonna take a yellow here. This is Tombow 991. And I'm gonna draw a bunch of like yolks around the page, just the a circle shape. And then to finish off the eggs, I'm just going to use a fine liner. This is size 02, and I'm just going to draw kind of a wavy outline around that circle. You definitely could outline the yolk itself. You can outline the bacon, outline everything if you want to. I typically default to not outlining things, mostly because it's faster, but there are certain things where I do like to outline them. For example, that one I ended up outlining it, but for now I'm only going to do the egg whites. I'm not going to outline anything else. Alright, so there we have our bacon and eggs theme. Of course, you can do what you want with this. You could put them just in the center and have the heading for October below it. You could use them just on like the Dutch door part. You can add a border, add some washi tape, outline everything, add some like dots or other shapes in there as well. You can definitely play with that. And with this one, another thing that I've done with this type of print before is just like use it as a Dutch door. So again, kind of like section off part of the page and then fill that whole section with color, just like we filled the whole circle with color. And then the rest of the page is empty, and you'll use that to put your heading and stuff. So those are the first two themes. Moving on to the last one here. This one's going to be more seasonal. So we're going to do some acorns and pumpkins for fall. So starting off with the pumpkin, again, I'm using a Tombow marker. It's 947. But honestly, I love my Crayola Super Tips for this orange color, but they're dried up because I use them so much. So I'm going to start off by drawing a pumpkin sort of shape, not with much detail. And then I want a dark brown. This one might not be quite dark enough. Oh yeah, I would go with an even darker one. Let me grab one. All right, darker brown here, just so it stands off a bit more from the orange to make my stem right there. And now I'm going to jump to the acorns, but I'm going to come back to this. I just like to do all of my color first before I come in and outline everything. So now I'm going to add some acorns and stuff on the sides to just make a little like fall kind of decal in the middle of the page. So to do my acorns, I'm just drawing kind of a half oval, coloring it in, and then adding a little point to the bottom. And then we need to put the caps on there. So the caps again will be kind of a half circle on top. And then more of a stem. And then I'm going to add some leaves as well. So I'm going to use this yellow. And just add a few fall leaves on here. All right, so now that we've got this, I'm going to take a fine liner. This is a size 03 and outline things. So for the pumpkin, I always start with this sort of oblong kind of shape in the middle. And then you want to just kind of keep layering those outwards, just like that. So I'm definitely not a pro at these fall doodles, but I don't think you have to be to use them in a bullet journal. And you just want it to gradually get larger as you go out. And then I will outline the stem as well and just go around everything. And I'm just going to use this black pen to also add a few dots. So I like to do my dots in like clusters of 2 or 3 and vary the sizes. Some will be bigger, some smaller. All right, so there's kind of a fall illustration just taking up the center of the page. Now I'm going to use my stamps and my stamp pad and just stamp out October underneath. Obviously you don't need to use stamps. You can do whatever font you want. But if you do like stamps, I love these ones. These are from Paperwrld and they've got capital and lowercase letters. I normally default to lowercase, but I'm going to do the capital ones here. And I will have a discount code for this down in the description, as well as I get all of my Tombow markers from Stationery Pal. I find their prices are just way better than like Michael's, at least around here. So I will have discount codes for them down in the description as well. All right, so there is our little fall cover page for October, and this one with all the talking took about 5 minutes. And I feel like this one, very obviously, you could do this in so many different ways. If you wanted to put the doodles all over the page, you totally could. If you wanted to, I don't know, draw a circle like I did before and then fill that. If you wanted to turn them kind of into a wreath around the heading for October, you definitely can. But these are just some simple fall doodles and ideas of how you can use them for an October theme. So we've got our nice fall cover page for October. Then we've got more of a fun bacon and eggs print with some stacked calligraphy. And then I have this little desert theme over here. Thank you all so much for joining me to go through a few different themes for the month of October. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments which one you liked the best, and I'll see you in the next video.